mentoring, and more.
Successful Living with Reginald Campbell.
You're listening to Successful Living with Reginald Campbell.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. We're here at the Greenville campus. We thank you for joining us. We are going to deal with Successful Living podcast. I'm your host, Reginald Campbell. Quite a few people have asked about the T-shirt. I should have this coming week, and I will announce it with the House of Reconciliation about the opportunity to purchase the shirt and the book. You can get the book at your retailers, online retailers. You can go to www.reginaldcampbellsbooks.com. You can purchase the book there. You may see this version. All it is an updated cover, same information. The book is something that we need because inflation is still high and people are making money but don't know what to do with money or really understand the values of money. So what we're going to do is tonight we're going to talk about money won't manage itself. So if you're a writer, I want you to think, because I had a conversation with a gentleman today, and he was telling me about his faith and how that he had been talked to and preached to for 40-something years. And sometimes people leave out important things or important parts of the process. And his metaphor that he believed was you pray, you ask God, you go to church, you pay your tenth, and you give in the offering, and you shout and raise your hand, and you ask God to do it, and you go stand on the sidelines. And I said to him, in the real world, they were given a promise, but they had to fight for it. The people that came out of the wilderness wasn't the people who entered the promised land. So if you don't understand the transition or the process to the transition, then you work in vain. And many people are working. They have 401ks. Pensions are on the way out. 401ks are on the way out. And people are strapped for money. And a lot of times people ask for your money, but they never teach you how to be functional. So if you're going to write, how to be functional with your money. So I'm going to ask a question that is not regarded to you. There are some people who feel as if though he and she or they or the group they're in is okay. And I'm going to tell you, and the people will say, well, I'm not stuck. I'm good. I've got money in the bank. I've got money in my savings. I have a good job. I have a 401k. You know what that is in real financial terms? Is you're looking in the mirror. You don't even know you're stuck because you see everything that's in the mirror that's taking your attention off of what you should be doing. You don't even realize you're stuck where you are because you're looking in the mirror, and in the mirror you see yourself, which makes you think you're ahead because you see people who are behind you. And if you're able to look at people who are behind you in the mirror, then you're not moving forward. You're literally stuck. So I ask you the question, money won't manage itself. I'm going to ask you this, and I'm saying this to the audience and to all those that are global that watch Successful Living with Reginald Campbell. Which way is your money going? Anybody got an idea of what that means? That is a simple term. That's what we would call a lay term. Most people money is going east and west. It's going lateral. It's not producing, well, we're going to get there. It's not producing anything that's moving forward. So the average person's money is going east and west. Those people who receive bonuses, they get quarterly raises or yearly raises, their money is either going north or south. What does that mean? North means your income went up, but also your tax bracket went up. And it sends a psychological message to the mind and to the subconscious that I have more money, come on, to spend. which in turns make your money go south. You took the bait. Because east and west is you're just paying bills and you're maintaining. North and south is that you get something, but because you got something or received something, you think you're going north, puts you in a different tax bracket. As well as most people cannot tell you where their bonus went. So that means it's going south. Here is a question I'll ask, and I ask these questions to make you think. How are you living? Are you living to pay bills and debt? Because that's your east and your west. If you're living to pay debt and to maintain, that's east and west. What should happen is you should be getting paid to live. You should be getting paid because of your creativity. You should be getting paid because of your authentication to the company. Those are the ones that get paid. If you're receiving a paycheck, you're receiving money off of what someone else made. You're not creating income. There's a difference. Oh, I work 60 hours, so I got 20 hours overtime. You got a check. You didn't make any money that's original. That they would say organic. Your income, and I guess that's one of the things when I ask the question, which way is your money going? Is your money organic? Because if your money is tied to other people, when they cut the ties, where's your money? You have to have, so a word tonight is learning how to have organic thinking. Here is what happens. Here's a downer right here. People see what you were. Failure, homeless, broken, working in a warehouse, wherever, working in drive-through, however, cutting grass, wearing a suit. They see where you were. But they can't see what's about to come in your life. And nothing will come in your life without a plan. Remember I said this the other day? Aim at nothing, hit nothing. If you don't have any goals, any dreams, any benchmarks for yourself to chart your progress, that is what will take you out of the mirror. You say you have this, where's your brand? This is my brand. I'm done with everybody else's brand. This is my brand. Successful living. So you're going to see me, and I have more than one t-shirt, so don't think this is the only t-shirt. Successful living. That's a brand. So people see where you were. And so you have to understand, you can see the people in the mirror. You need to be getting to know the people that's ahead of you. Because here's what most people are doing, to sum all that up and to phrase it up. Most people are maintaining debt that isn't healthy. I pay my bills. I pay my mortgage. Pay my car payment. I don't know what you're talking about. That's the basics. That's elementary. That's what you should be teaching your kids. Our children should be shocked to know what a repo is. What's a repo? What's a moving every 25th of the month before the first comes in? See, if we're maintaining debt, then we're not healthy. Because we were designed to produce. So if you're a writer tonight, and I always ask this question here lately, what are you doing now to fuel your future in July? What are you doing? If it's the main thing and maintaining, then you're at the bottom and you're very basic. Does this make sense? Maintaining debt isn't healthy. Here's what it says. Number one, unnecessary debt alone with paying the bare minimum will not create and free up revenue. That's another revenue for investing or building wealth. This is what happens when people maintain debt. They keep things the same. Well, I got to pay $20 this month or I make my car payment. But why aren't you making an additional $50, $60, $70 a month to pay off that car? So now it's paid off and it still has an upside value. Now let's take it a step further. This is what I teach people. Now that you've paid it off, and let me go through a couple things. You cannot expect the most for what you have if you didn't take care of it while you had it. If you don't wax your car, detail your car, have it professionally detailed at least once a year, you cannot get the same value. Now, listen to this, and this is not to insult anybody because I don't know where you live and what you have. A car that's on the outside of a garage will never have the value that's a car that's garage kept. The sun will bake and blister and fade the car on the outside. Many people have nice vehicles, but they don't have them professionally cleaned at least once a quarter and professionally waxed and compound once a year. This is why the sealer on the cars began to crack and fade and the paint comes off, because above your paint is a sealer. But you want maximum dollar for something that you didn't put maximum effort into. So I say it again, unnecessary debt. So now that was that point. Here's the point I want to say. So you got 4 years to pay on the car. What is the topic? Money won't manage itself. Instead of eating out and doing all that stuff, why don't you go in online and pay an extra $75, $125 a month to take the 4 years down to 2.5? I forgot. You got to go do you. You got to go celebrate, go eat out. And you think you're ahead of everybody because you can pay your bills. I come to tell you, you're not. I'm going to let it sting a little bit. You're not. Anybody want? Because this is not on my lesson, but let me give you this aspect. People go and put money down on a car. Why? The only reason you put money down on a car is because you're trying to adjust the monthly payment, because you didn't position your credit score to be in a place that you can get the car without paying anything. And I know things happen. I'm not saying that they don't happen. All right? But instead of paying them $4 and $5 and $3 and $7, $3,700, you can take that $3,700 and take that car payment as it is and add that monthly to bring down your car. It isn't the interest will kill you, but not if you got a plan. So anyone who's purchased an automobile, I always say to them, ask them up front, are there any penalties for early payoffs? No. Could you show me that and highlight it? Now, instead of me giving you $3,000 that you're going to go buy 5 cars with, I'm going to give you 0. I'm going to keep my $3,000 to $5,000, and I'm going to, somebody real quick with a calculator, divide 5,000 by 30 and tell me what you get. Okay, so you basically got $166 that you can add to that car payment a month to pay it off. Instead of 48 months or 30 months, you can pay it off in 18. Now you got a car that has value. It's nothing wrong with having gap insurance. That's just a 60 cent a week protection plan. But what is a problem is you go give them your money that they're going to go buy other used cars for at auction and take somebody else's money. And you walk out thinking you got a good deal. Well, I guess, Okay. Oh, yeah, we just got a few minutes. Unnecessary debt, along with paying the bare minimum, will not create and free up revenue. Because, see, once you pay it off, your car, and you paid it off early, what are you going to do with the money? Because remember, money won't manage itself. Now, don't steal what I told you to do. Most people cannot find that monthly payment that they were paying. Say it again. Okay, but the question becomes, how can you pay them? Hello? Say it loud. You can pay them. Oh, I got to make my payment. I need some overtime. I got to make my payment. So you make the payment for 30 months, 36 months. After 36 months, what happens to that line item on the word that don't nobody like? A budget. No, they take that money. Say it loud. Go out to eat. Go buy some clothes. Go out to the club. Buy some extra drinks for somebody. And none of that adds value to what you're doing and where you're supposed to be. Say it loud. They never repurpose that money. You should never take that line item out of the budget. So you take that line item and you divide that money, or you put it over in another sector. You don't go spend it, well, I'm going to put it on this bill. No! You put it in another sector. And once you reach a certain point, you now do an assessment of what your debt is. So now let's say you saved up $2,500. Here's what, I got a person in trouble right now. They got a little money, and they went and they did too much too soon. Then when their car broke down, now they're looking for Jesus. See, we don't know how to spend money, replace what we spent, save more, then pinch off of it. So what I tell people is this. I definitely try to tell young people this. So your car payment is $350. Okay. Multiply 350 times 30, 36. Tell me what you get. Mm-hmm. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. The average American right now does not even have $400 saved up for an emergency. And if people, when you pay off a vehicle, you talk about starting a business, you talk about advancing or paying down or saving for a house, you can take that one car payment and continue to pay yourself and leave it as a line item and don't spend that money. Now you have something that you can divide up into a slush fund. You can divide it up to the club fund. You can take some, because see, here's the thing. You are moving it, and this is going to cause you to think. Don't try to think right now, just listen. You'll move it, but you're always replacing it. So I move $500. But on the first, when I get paid, I got to put $350 back. Say it again. Say it again. Say it loud. So the money is gone. Now you have an issue in your home or your place. And you don't have any money. So I'm going to ask this question. I said this to people. So where's your last 2-year car payment? Because you can pay them. See, because then what happens now, let me give you the third part of this. And this wasn't a part of what I was going to teach you all tonight. Let's say you pay that car off. All right? Let me show you how other people think. You pay that car off. So you said $12,000, right? $12,600. So you did the maintenance on it. You took it and had it serviced. So you got all the paperwork, right? Guess what happens now? You got all the money back that you paid for that car. And you've kept that car in good shape. Now guess what you can go do? You can go sell that car. So you got paid twice for the same car. Y'all, come on, y'all not looking well. Ask me how. You paid the car loan place first, right? You left the line item and you took the payment out for the next 30 months. That's the same amount of time you had to pay for the car. So now you paid yourself back for the car that you bought. Now, if you kept it in above average condition, now you can go sell a car that you own. And it gives you upside value. So you got your $12,500 that you paid. Now you can go sell the car for $6,000 because you can't get a car now under $5,000. So you can take old busted Scudder and go get $6,000 or $7,000. Now add $6,000 or $7,000, say $7,000 to the 12.5 and tell me what you got. Say it loud. Say what? And you're not stuck. You're not stuck. Now, in 3 years, you got $19,000 plus in cash. That don't have nothing to do with your saving. That's just out for one car. Now, I want you to think, and this is really casting that out there. How much money have people made off of you? That they went and bought a box of crackers for $2 and sold it to you for $3 per cracker. That's what them weed cigarettes do. This ain't church tonight. But you see what I'm saying? And so now with $19,000 to $20,000+, you now can go and analyze what's your next move. Say what? And the average person doesn't have, because they're used to the hamster wheel. So unnecessary debt. Because what happens is most people get a car in 2-3 years, something new come out because a new body style comes out every 5 to 7 years. Well, I want that. Why? Take care of what you have and make what you have valuable. This is what people are doing with their grandmothers. They're selling their $300,000-$400,000 house, going over to a community where the houses was built in the 40s and the 50s, and they're buying them in clusters. And they go take their mom's house or their dad's house, and they take the front part of the house and paint it. And put a little rusted look on it. Build a 2,000 square foot suite on the back with another driveway. Rent the front and live in the back debt free. Take the $450,000 and do something with it. And you're trying to catch up with people with overtime. Do what? Come on, say it loud. But doing what? Spending it. This is why everybody needs this book. Basic financial steps that teach you how to make your money work for you. Now, I'm not even going to begin to talk about if you had 2 car payments. See, the problem with most people, sight is blinding. You're chasing what other people have, and you're not building yourself. So real quick, number 2, give yourself a raise and eliminate credit cards and unnecessary subscriptions to free up cash flow. If you got $19,000 in the bank, you have options. So now you don't have to be desperate. Remember, the Bible says, Ecclesiastes 7:12, I think, wisdom is a what? Defense. A weapon. And see, people get mad at me when I look at them and be like, you just so stupid. You just ignorant. He's innocent. He just, oh, you're not supposed to say that. They tell me I can't say that. You're not supposed to say that. I'm old enough to say a whole lot of things. And as I get older, boy, it's going to get loose. But you don't know how to value what you have. And if you don't value what you have, you can't increase where you are. So you think increase is supposed to be more that comes into you? Increase many times start with more knowledge inside of you that teaches you how to handle the things on the outside of you. Because we hunger and we thirst after what other people have. Well, look at what they got. They got that today. Who says they're going to keep it tomorrow? And if I take my time, I can get what I want. But the problem is, as long as you're in the rabbit race, you will never win. So now, give yourself a raise by eliminating. So what does it mean when you say that? And I hear that all the time. Let's say the average person is paying $600 a month in credit cards. Why don't you take $600 and pay off a credit card and quit paying the minimum balance? And free up $600 in your credit card. And take your credit card and lock them up. Put cash in the envelope. I got envelopes right now. And when the money run out of the envelope, then you just ran. But you ain't behind. Because here's what most people fail. As long as they can get, they can spend. And banks have really taken advantage of people because they give you the sight that we won't charge you any overdraft fees. So then when your check does go in there, everything you didn't need now hinders everything you need. Number 3. Now this is going to sting a little bit. Too many are worried about how they look instead of how they live. Or they hit me in the liver. Too many are worried about how they look instead of how they live. People who were wealthy put on just basic clothes. People with money and used to money and from money, they don't put on all that fancy stuff. But people who were worried about, well, can I do my move? They got to look at my shoes. They got, what kind of tie? We constantly pulling on our stuff, and we always posing. That tell me you ain't used to what you got on. Plus, 9 times out of 10, you got on polyester. People, y'all all right? You gonna take your weed cigarettes back now? Too many people are worried about how they look. They're worried about image. And they're not building substance. See, when you have substance, you'll have something that may be 2-3 years old. It may be a little raggedy around the edges, but you own it. The other person, everything new come out, they got to have it. And new phone come out, they got to have it. New shoes come out. Listen, I'm going to take 5 more minutes because I got to drive 3 hours on the road. I got a good friend. I love him. I would fight for him. But he happy over some white Converses, and he walking in the rain. And he ain't gonna fight me because I knocked them new teeth out, so he ain't gonna do that. But this is what I'm saying. Well, where are your priorities? Many people are worried about how they look. Well, how do I look? I don't care. This is my brand. Fall in love with my brand. I don't care how I look. I am a granddaddy. I tell people all the time, somebody trying to holler at me trying to get their rent paid. I can't pay nobody rent. I got college and tuition. Yeah, I got college tuition to help out with. I need to tell my granddaddy, you probably need to go to a community college for 2 years to save your parents some money and then go to the school that you want to go to. Because you don't need to be paying $40,000 for classes you can take at a local community college basically for free. He hit me in the liver. Grandpa done hit me in the liver. Number 4, many are concerned with the wrong things that don't build a foundation. See, you want somebody to want what you have, but you ain't supplied what you built. I'm going to say that again. You want somebody to want what you have, but you haven't supplied what you built. You did 1. If you're an artist, you should have 3 or 4 videos. You should have your stuff already packaged up. See, you want people to ask you for stuff, then you're going to tell them, hold on. I got to go talk to Ethel, and me and Ethel. It going to take about 8 months to get that to you. You're not ready. You want to live in the promised land? You got to prepare before you get there. You can't get to the promised land talking about, we got to fight. I thought they just going to give it to us. God said it's ours. Ain't nothing yours without a fight. So here's what happens. I'll say this again because this kind of hit hard. Too many people worried about how they look instead of how they live. Many are too concerned and won't build and don't build a foundation. And when you don't build a foundation, and when you build a foundation, people always, what you got over there? Just a whole big block of cement. It's squared off, cut off here. You know what they don't have that you have? It's the vision and the blueprint and the process. Vision, blueprint, and process. You know what you building. They just see a big chunk of junk out there. Why you got all that? So, now this is going to hurt a little bit. Debt without substance is an abuse of your hard work. Did that? So I need to say that slower, okay? Because I'm getting ready. Debt without substance. What does you mean? What does that mean? If you're going to have debt, it needs to be what we call good debt. I'm paying and buying something that's going to have more value when I finish paying for it. I'm investing in my website now. So when I finish my product, my website's already done. Here's a word. Let me find the word. I don't want to mess it up. Here's what most people won't do. Write this down. Look it up. Passive income. What does that mean? The website is out there for the web world is out there for anybody. Amazon's out there for anybody. All these other places. Well, Etsy's something where you can put product. How you gonna have 50 sales and no product? See, a passive income means when you sleep, you still making money. You out here, yeah, you want me to move these boxes, boss? Okay. Oh, Jesus. Passive income is mean you're sitting here, and while you're sitting here, click, ding, ding, ding. Passive income is an open cash register that's always receiving. But I'm going to ask you, when are you going to build your supply? You're going to wait for somebody to ask you for a set of headsets? You're going to wait for somebody to ask you to do a job? Why are you not prepared? So what it says here, let me go back up here. Debt without substance is an abuse of hard work. Which way is your money going? Listen, most people, and you can attest to this, sir. I taught you this about 5-7 years ago. Have too many windows open. Too many windows open. What did you say? You do with the car payment? Go to the club? See, the windows you need to be in, those windows require proper attitude, proper behavior, proper focus, proper discipline. What does that mean? You're not going to get any farther than the knowledge you have. So if you don't extend your education, you're always going to be Buster Brown. You should be finishing, and this is the whole point. Now, watch me real quick. You have a degree, but the type of degree you have requires a certain certification. I'm going to turn and go look this way. I feel like there's a little something going on up in here. And if you would get that certification, you could increase your income by $25,000 to $30,000. But you're somewhere working a second job picking up pennies when you're supposed to be securing dollars. But you won't invest in yourself, but you overdress yourself. And you want to talk about successful living? You're not living successful. Your name Uncle Bucky and broke neck Cletus. Because no one's going to pay you your value until you exemplify your worth. And your worth is not what comes out of your mouth. Your worth is the substance that you have built up. This is why I don't worry about people and, they standing around and, they all like this and, want to be seen and in the picture. I ain't got to be in the picture. They can talk in the mic all day. I can say one sentence. God is only good as the knowledge you have. The whole room. And they done went, and Father God, in the name of the Most High Jesus and our Master, and we come and we're here. I'm like, skip all that, man. God is only good as the knowledge that you have of him. Now that's for the church folks, because I know some of them watch. Most people see the windows that should be open. It's the windows that'll stay open and advance you. So when you walk in, you ain't got to look good. Your knowledge is a defense against anybody in the room. Then you got money to back it up, because you can't get real money without real substance. Oh, I wish I could help somebody. It's because we like that emotional stuff that make us feel good and take us away from the reality, and we need to stay in the reality and do what we need to do. And here's the whole point. It only takes a little while. I think it came out to be, even if you got a doctoral degree and you live to be 80, it's only 10.7% of your life. I think I need that. I saw some eyes over there, Jesus. Because you could solve the poverty in your family if you would secure some substance within you. And you will learn enough from the wheel of substance that even if your career path changes, you have enough substance to go in a different direction and not miss a beat. But you don't want to take the time to invest in you. Because like I say, money won't manage itself. Your car payment. So now multiply that, 19 something, 19.5? Multiply that times 2. You got 2 cars, because most people got 2 cars. If he can't have, if he got a car, I got to have me something. He driving a Mercedes, I got to drive me a Mercedes. And both of y'all live in a house that you can't even park both Mercedes in the garage. What in the... Ooh, geez, let me... I'm tired of him kicking me in the liver right now. He kicking me in the liver. You got 2 Mercedes and can't get but one of them in the garage because your house ain't big enough for them. Do I know? And then won't buy the right tires for it. Yeah, you go in the Jiffy Lube for an oil change. They just put a new one down right around the corner called 10-minute oil change. You can't change a Mercedes oil at a 10-minute time. They can change the oil, but they don't do everything it's supposed to do. So why you got something that you can't afford? It look nice. It look nice, boss. So you got 2 car payments. What? You can open a business with that and keep your money and take 10% of that and tell the bank, I'll give y'all a 10% secure loan to get this extra $200,000 that I need. And then you can build your business. You don't think you need this book. You may not like who wrote it, but it has made some people some money. I wish I could honestly talk to y'all about how other ethnicity groups have purchased this book. And they call me back, right, Roger! Look at here, boy. My credit was at 620. It's at 750. Getting ready to buy a house. Mom and daddy loved him so well, they paid $600,000 cash for a house. 600. I'm still on camera. I'm gonna walk off for a minute. Just $600,000. 37 years old. They already got me. How you gonna try to be the extra kid? I'm like, I told his mama. I said, yeah. I told the man's wife. I said, I'm the child that he didn't tell you about. and since my good friend Chad is about to get a $600,000 house, when he was in the army, I'm the baby he had while he was in the army. Now I know he didn't tell you about that one, but I'm just letting you know. I want my money. I want my cut. But this is what I'm talking about. Because people come and we have conversations, and here's the problem with people who don't have nothing. They think you're bragging. They think you're bragging. Oh. Well, you're the one kicking rocks, not them. $600,000 in cash. And then they invited me to dinner. And then they told me, they said, I'm getting ready to sell my mama's house. I said, what? Because remember I told you all, in certain ethnicity groups, I don't want that. Other people see opportunity. A little tender love and care. They go get it appraised. They see what it's worth. And I'm going to say this because I'm going to finish this because I'm the one that got to drive. And y'all be mad at me because I talk about feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions will always keep you broke. Because people who do business, they're not doing business on feelings and emotions. They're calculating them numbers. Numbers, math is absolute. And you already, well, I don't want to say nothing because Billy Bob going to have an attitude. Let Billy Bob have an attitude with the police. And most of us got cameras on their house. And if they look like they drove by my house, I'm going to hit redial. Because I need that cheddar. Am I making sense? I'm going to say this hurtful part again. Too many people are worried about how they look instead of how they live. The whole purpose of successful living is to change the mindset. Does this make sense? Can I go ahead and take the last 5 minutes? Because the rest of y'all getting ready to go home. I got a 3-hour drive. Let me give you this. You cannot get mad because you're behind. Ask me why. Why are you talking about what you can't change? Racism. My family was broke. My granddaddy was a slave. Yeah, I'm talking to you. We can't change that. But what you gonna do now? And you can't make up 200 plus years in 2 days. Now, let me give you this. It's a mental factory. Say that with me. Mental factory. Now, you're going to need to write this down. Poor thinking habits are the very things that will keep people poor. Poor thinking habits. I can't afford this. Figure out how you can. Get in a group. That's one thing certain ethnicities will do and certain ethnicities won't. They'll be for them and they'll make it happen. Mr. Buddy, my shoe shine guy, God rest his soul, he said, man, there's certain ethnicity groups will get a clump of 10 and everybody will own 10%. He said, then there's that other one. He want to own it all. So if he loses it, he loses it all. But one of those 10 will say, hey, we got a different idea. And they can buy you out for 10% rather than lose 100%. Mental factory. Poor thinking habits are the very thing that keep people poor. I was on a church ground Sunday. Two brothers came up to me. I didn't know I said something, and they asked me about it, and they said, well, you know, your father says that there's a text in the Bible that says you'll have the poor with you always. And I said, I've told my father it ain't got my name beside it. It says you will have the poor with you always. But the same God said this gospel has been preached to the poor. Well, what the hell did they do with it? Say it loud. Say it loud. They just, oh, stop all that and get some knowledge. Complain about what they don't have over what they could plant. Because you got to plant so something can grow. So he says, well, you know, so many pastors, many preachers, many people around the world will preach to you poverty messages. And there's the other side that will lie to you too, but I'm telling you straight down the middle. You can't reap what you can't sow. So it said, you will have the poor with you. You need to change your company. And all my friends broke. You need to change your company. All my friends on parole. You need to change your company. All my friends on house arrest. You need to change your company. All my friends talk negative. You need to, because it said you will have the poor with you because you think poor. I feel pretty good, Rufus. Give him a little. I feel pretty good, Bucky. You will have the poor with you. You get the revelation. You got to choose a different group. Well, I'm worried about my supervisor. You know, they don't like me. I don't care. I eliminate people who hold me back. But they don't like me. I don't care. Somebody say, I'm here to make my numbers. Because money ain't never mad at you. Money won't manage itself. Mental factory. Last thing I'm going to say, poor thinking habits are the very thing that will keep people poor. You preach it. So the gentleman that's a friend of mine who has this mindset that, well, you know, I prayed and you know the Bible, he loves telling me that. Bible says you had to pull with you always. And people get mad at me when I say this. But this is on successful living. There ain't nothing poor people can teach me. Because if it won't work for him, I know it ain't going to work for me. I need to go sit under the feet of somebody who's at a different level and learn that behavior and that thought pattern. So then I can come back. You don't have my caterpillar, do you? And change who I am. So then my dreams become a reality. So instead of talking to someone that says, you've changed. We were supposed to. You can't say you God's children and God's people and you broke. You got bugs in your house. You don't have no paint on your car. I'm not saying where you started. Some of y'all done had that for years. And then you get a little something and you think you a hot dog. You ain't no hot dog. See, don't look, just because you got busted with your weed cigarette, don't tell my weakness, okay? Did I help you? As I close, some of you need to get back in school. Your purpose isn't finished yet. You trying to get through your destiny and you hadn't gone through your process. So you're makeshifting, you're patching. It is your test that says you're certified and that you're qualified to handle this next level of situations. Did I help you? I made you think, didn't I? Yeah, he just, yeah. You got to have passive income. See, that's why I tell people all the time, you out here spending your paycheck. You got me still on? You out here spending your paycheck. Other people spending your money. Because they done made enough passive income. You done went to the store. You were supposed to get gas. You done bought $10 in the store. Yeah, then you're going to spend more money. So when you went to get $10 worth of gas, you done spent $45. So you downtown trying to eat with your boys and your girls. You a little short. And you wonder, and you mad because they got 2 waiters waiting on one table. And you want to be in there. But you hadn't done the things they done because they don't spend their money. See, that's how rich people keep making money. They don't spend their money. And here's the tough thing that we have a struggle with. We have a problem with making a profit. I'm learning from gentlemen who make profit 5 and 7 times off of the same piece of property. Passive income that's working for you while you sleep. And I know people are going to say, well, they got this business, they got business. They got that, but where's yours? It's enough out here in Greenville now for everybody. So I'll see y'all in a month for what the living. Remember the brand. Remember the smile. You just got cut out the wheel. God bless y'all. I'll see you soon.
It's new, informative, engaging, educational, empowering, and more.
Successful Living with Reginald Campbell.
You're listening to Successful Living with Reginald Campbell.